Hey there, Leo. It's Wes with Aurawest Tarot, and today we're going to be doing your March monthly reading. This is going to be a pretty comprehensive reading that will cover about 5 different major events that are going to go through March. And when I say progressive, it means that it's going to go from the start of the March all the way to the end of March. Okay, so it'll kind of give you a timeline of what's going to happen. Now, please keep in mind, I'll try and be general in certain areas. This particular reading seems to follow pretty heavily on a certain scenario, which I'll talk about, but I'm going to also apply it to other situations because I know everybody's in different situations, and some people, love and romance may not apply as much as it does for somebody else. Okay, just also bear with me that as much as I try to make these readings very comprehensive and detailed, not every situation can apply to every single person, and furthermore, the choices that you make throughout the month is also going to determine how the energies change, so things can always be a bit different. You always have the power of choice. Okay, but without further ado, let's get right on into it. Now, for some of you right now, hopefully things are going well because you have the Ten of Pentacles going to the Knight of Cups. This could talk about that you may have had a love offer, romantic proposal from this lovely water sign here. It could be any sign, though. It doesn't have to be a water sign. But a Knight of Cups going to the Ten of Pentacles can talk about somebody that is interested in having a long-term connection. Okay. For others of you, this could also be, if it's nothing to do with love, it can also be putting your heart into trying to get to the Ten of Pentacles or wanting it. In other words, having a prosperous future where you can live comfortably, aka be rich, drive nice things. Okay, it might be some vision that you've had. Obviously, I haven't done one for February, so perhaps you've been working on that. But for others of you, it's an incoming lover of some sort, whether it's new or old. Okay? Your outcome here, and we're going to talk about the advice in a second here, and sometimes I'll flip-flop it, but in this case, I want you to first see this. If your outcome is showing Ace of Cups, and I was clarifying to Ace of Pentacles. Now, what's interesting is that this Ace of Cups right here, once again, if this somebody's offering your cup, that's probably why this is showing up here, indicating a new beginning, new possible relationship that's coming through here. Okay, doesn't matter. Once again, it could be with an ex for a portion of you, and it could be with a brand new person. Okay, somebody that you've kind of known a little bit. And for others of you, it could be a new job opportunity, or something. Maybe even asking the universe for relentlessly to, I've been working hard. I really want to, I want to improve my cash flow. I want to start this business. I want to get things going. I want to be a boss or something someday. Something like that. Now, I think the universe in some ways, whether it be love or finance, threw that to you here. Okay? Interesting enough, the advice is talking about Page of Pentacles. So if you had this, and that's what I think is so crazy about these spreads so far, is that there's been a lot of consistencies, and this is 3 different decks that have shuffled relentlessly between each reading. So I think that's really cool how that all came out. But with this Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles now in the advice, indicating take the opportunity, and it's going to Knight of Pentacles. What this pretty much says here is that if you really work hard at what you're wanting, you've been given an opportunity, it will flesh out, and you'll obviously mature from the Page to the Knight, and hopefully to the King. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I've said it for like 3 different readings, and it especially applies here. Seems a lot of energy about forward movement and struggles and stuff going into the month of March for a lot of the signs. And I don't really, unfortunately, see this any different here. And you'll see why in a little bit. Okay. Now, moving on to the second event. This is where things kind of take a turn here. And just want to kind of recap here, also, just for the first spread. I know, obviously, a lot of you might be like saying, I don't have $1 million in my bank account. No one approached me in love and everything like that. You just have to apply it to how you see it. Like I said, if it's business related, not everyone's doing a job thing. It could just be a desire to some extent to want to have a promotion, be a manager where you're working at, or maybe just, get a different position in the company or something like that. Maybe there was something that opened up, and for those of you might find out tomorrow, the next day, or the day after that, maybe that you find out just through the grapevine something came through. It's going to be a very subtle hint, or it could be very obvious, but pay attention, because obviously when it comes, you'll know. Fast forward, this is going to be probably now around probably like the 10th, 11th, 12th of March, somewhere around there. There does seem to be a lot of forward movement here with the Chariot and the Strength card, and I'm going to talk about the Strength in a second here. And the reason I want to talk about, the reason is because I want to talk about this Five of Swords here. This kind of indicates to me here, Leo, that there's going to be some degree of conflict for some reason with this Five of Swords that's going to occur. It's generally talking about a loss for everyone, and it almost in some ways, this is the only reading so far where I've actually seen something abrupt like that happen. Okay, none of the other signs have had that, so it's very interesting in your reading. So I was very confused when I saw that, and I'm looking at this energy beforehand that looks really amazing, and then it just suddenly, within a matter of probably 4 or 5 days, 6 days or something like that, it just kind of something happens. Okay, so if this is a new love offer or somebody coming in, I think that this person, whoever they are, I'm just talking first about love, it could be something where this person wants to be with you again, offers you that opportunity, or you start something with this person and there's immediately conflict that ensues after. I can't imagine if this is someone new that this would apply to so much. I mean, maybe I'm not picking up on it or something, or maybe it's related to something else. This could be anything, honestly, Leo. I mean, it could be family fighting. It could be somebody just out of the woodwork causing drama and problems. It can't talk about betrayal, mind games, and stuff like that. Maybe it's a troubling ex that's getting, interfering with this new connection that's coming in. That's also possible. Okay, the Chariot does talk about conquering obstacles, though. That's a very important aspect about this card, and it's driving forwards and putting your energy and also standing up for yourself and conquering those barriers. So you might have some resistance trying to get something off the ground, whatever it is that you're starting, whether it be in your relationship. Like I said, the ex could be causing some problems, stirring up drama, trying to say that you're a cheater or a liar and stuff when you're not. Or it could be at work or a job. You might find that starting this new endeavor, whether it be I'm going to write a book or I'm going to open a website or a shop, something like that, you might just start realizing when you're drawing it all out and stuff, like, boy, this is going to be a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of challenges. How am I going to do this? Maybe you see there's fierce competition. Probably starts to kind of concern you a little bit. But what's strange here, and this is where things get really interesting here, okay? Keep in mind this Five of Swords here, okay? You have Ten of Swords for the outcome. I was alarmed when I saw that because, like I said, I haven't seen something like that just so abrupt, okay? And I mean, like I said, I've shuffled the hell out of these decks, so for me to see that and how it came out is just really bizarre. So it seems like there's like just some random event that occurs out of nowhere where it just ends. Painful cycle, okay? Ending. And this could be like an affair, it could be cheating, it could just be getting, I don't know, not getting chosen for, just I don't know, something that comes through unexpectedly. Now, when I clarified to it, I initially got Temperance, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, okay, maybe you want to balance out, this Ten of Swords energy. I mean, if you're going through a painful cycle, it could be trying to find yourself again and just trying to stabilize the situation. But the question still remains, what the hell is it? I clarified again, we got Eight of Cups. Okay? Walking away from an emotionally unfulfilling situation. That initially said to me, I mean, it kind of loosely answers the question, okay, so you're walking away from something, but it still doesn't really, match what I'm seeing beforehand. And I'm like, if you had somebody in a love setting coming for you, offering their cup, my question I asked myself was, if this was an ex, it would make sense. That came in, wanted to basically sell you the world, you hung out for them a couple days or something like that, and then maybe it just abruptly ends, and they abandon ship. Okay, for some of you, that is going to apply. For others of you, it's just going to be unknown turmoil. And here's why I say that. I was still not satisfied with what I got with this Eight of Cups. So I clarified again with a different, same deck, and then I got Tower. Can you believe that? So I got Tower, so then it doesn't really change the fact that this is a disturbing situation that's going on, so it didn't really tell me much more. It's the universe trying to break down something that's no longer working for you. Okay, so I clarified again, and here's the kicker. Eight of Cups again. Can you believe that? So you got Eight of Cups again. So it's walking away from... There's a situation, essentially, Leo. Unfortunately, I can't explain it any more than that. It seems almost a mystery with the universe giving the Eight of Cups again. It's almost like I'm not supposed to know. My best thinking is that it, like I said, it could be an ex that suddenly comes and gives you hope or something like that, and then just lets you down again. Okay, you might have to walk away from a situation like that just unfortunately turns out to be the same pile of crap it was last time. For others of you, it's just going to be maybe a brand new person that just suddenly ghosts you. Or I know this sounds harsh. Trust me, I don't want this. I'm just giving you the possibilities here. That would be something. But it may not have anything to do with that. It could just be simply something else in your life that you're having to let go of to move forwards. You do have a lot of energy here, and the universe is suggesting the advice to move forwards, but it's almost suggesting in some ways it's going to give you, there's going to be some roadblocks and some conflict, I say tests, really, from the universe on really testing you, I guess, to see if you really want to go down this path, whatever it is. And it's probably going to be unexpected. You're not really going to expect it. Now, I don't want to give you a doom and gloom perspective. Like I said, everything happens in the universe for a reason, so it's going to have a payoff here. But we'll see. Your advice for this particular situation is 2 of Swords going to the Ace of Swords. Okay? So it was Ace of Swords, and then you have the 2 of Swords clarifying to it. This pretty much says here, Leo, you need to be clear, decisive about what you want, and voice your opinion. This is a deadlock card, somebody that's just sitting weighing out between 2 different decisions, and they don't really know which way to go about it. It's getting pulled in both different ways. Which side do you choose? It's like sitting on the fence to a degree. She's blindfolded for a reason. I don't know what do you do? How do you solve this? Ace of Swords does talk about truth, clarity, communication, and also it's making it very clear about what you want to communicate about. The reversed form of Ace of Swords is the opposite of that. It's basically clouding and distorting that to some extent. So I don't do any reversals in this particular reading, but just for clarity there. But yeah, so it is talking about you need to really make sure you clarify what you want. I'm not sure, like I said, maybe this could be something to do with an ex or something like that, where you're not really voicing your opinion about exactly what it is that you're wanting, and then this person's just walking all over you to some extent. Perhaps the advice is suggesting you need to basically stand up for yourself a little bit about what you want, and perhaps if you're not doing that, maybe the universe is separating you from that situation. Remember, rejection is God's protection. I've heard that, and to be honest, I hated it for the longest time, but it ends up being true in the long run. Now, what's the good news here, Leo? I know that sounded like just a depressing nightmare, but it does show you here that you overcome the situation and you are working through struggles to get to your happiness. So I think at the back of your head, you are aware that basically you do have a vision of where you want to go. And just remember, there's a lot of people out there that have small visions on where they're trying to go, and other people have extremely large visions. Okay, if you're wanting to become the president of the United States, for example, that's probably going to be a lot more work than, say, just trying to, write a 10-page book. Okay, everybody's got different things that they want, different strokes for different folks. So you're really going to have to ask yourself, be clear exactly about what you want and what you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship or it is a business, for example, that you're trying to get off the ground. You have to be clear about exactly what you want. If it's a lover, then you really need to know what it is, what am I looking for? And once you know those things, make sure you voice, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I want. Okay? Obviously, you don't make demands like that, but just be clear about, obviously don't dick around the bush. Tell somebody what you're looking for. And sometimes you do have to, unfortunately, walk away from situations that you know are no good for you, which is probably why this 8 of Cups is coming here, is that you can't be entering situations that you know are not good for you. You're not getting anything out of it. Okay, so it can be difficult to let somebody down, and even if they honestly don't even deserve the apology, and in many cases, there's some people that are so toxic, and it's like people are wanting to apologize about, oh, I'm so sorry, Your Highness, I'm walking away. Like, you don't need to do that. If you know somebody's been, like, messing you around, dicking you around, treating you like a carpet, a doormat, or something like that, don't let them take advantage of you. It's none of their business what you're going to do with your life. You can move forward. You're a grown adult, hopefully, for most of you. And for those of you not, you're a developing adult. But Temperance obviously suggests here that you are carrying through into here, that you are making efforts, once again, to stick with it, with the Nine of Wands also, and the Sun. As you're trying to develop your own personal image, your own identity. You want to be basically somebody that can stand on your own. And what's interesting here is that your advice is going to the Three of Wands and Nine of Cups. And this kind of talks about in the advice that success is coming for you, Leo. Okay, but this is a card that can talk about forward movement, communication, but it also is waiting for your ships to come in type thing. So it does kind of indicate here in some cases that the success is lined up for you, and life does have a plan for everybody. It really does. But it, once again, you have to kind of lay the foundation to build a house. Okay, you can't build, unfortunately, you can't just click your fingers and the house is there. You have to do the work for it to pay off. But at the end of the day, the universe will make it happen if you really want to put the work in. And it does seem that you are doing that, but just remember that it's the Wounded Warrior card. So it's very easy to start to become fatigued and then kind of feel a bit drained where you want to give up. And I think that's why the advice is suggesting that you know, you have to really keep at it. Consistency is the most important thing. I think I can't remember. Actually, I'm not going to go to it. There was some like quote or something like that I remember to some extent. It was something about repetition is the key to success or something like that, but I can't quite remember it, so we'll just scrap that. Now, in the outcome for this situation here is Ten of Cups. What's interesting is you have the Seven of Wands, a card that talks about defending your values, standing up. And remember what I was talking about earlier about you making sure to voice what you want. I think to some extent after whatever this conflict is, what's interesting is that you do know. So it's almost like the universe sends this tower moment down to cause some drama, and then it kind of triggers you to basically stand up for yourself a little bit. This is a card. You notice all the wands right there? And this can talk about close relationships, especially family for a lot of you. Maybe standing up for things that you care about, certain connections you care about, and just basically kind of saying, you know, I've had enough. You know, this is what I'm about. And this could also just be what you're desiring that you want. Maybe you just want better connections with people. Could also just be, perhaps you're also, and like I said, if this is a business-related thing for some of you, or career and finance and stuff like that, this also just talks about that you want better work relationships, and you don't want people that are going to dick you around and take you, you know, just take you for granted. You know, there's plenty of bosses out there that are, unfortunately less than the best, that don't really do what a boss should do, and that's lead. Okay, so you may basically have a different opinion on how things are run and stuff like that, and you probably, you know, how the work environment should be. Maybe you want close connections with, you know, a better company that maybe is going to treat you, you know, I guess embrace the values that you have. If you're somebody that really believes in, you know, a company, like a work atmosphere where there's a lot of cohesion, people talking, you know, like a family kind of thing, you might want to stand up for those values. And I mean, it's probably in your reading here, Leo, to something about, it's almost like your character being tested is kind of what I guess I've been trying to say here. Okay, moving on though, I don't want to dabble too much in my rambling Wes, and then rambling Mike will sue me, right? Okay, so we have Two of Cups here, showing up with the Three of Pentacles. And this is going to be towards the last, probably around about March 20th, somewhere around there. What's interesting is that you have a connection card, a card of generally getting together with somebody. It can talk about in your relationship of some sort, working as a team. Now, I just want to come back to the love section here for a little bit here, so we're on the same page. And just recap. My concern initially, as I said, was that this person would come in, probably offer you some stability of some sort, but then it's a short-lived thing. There's some type of maybe fighting, conflict, or something that occurs. You guys, essentially, you might be walking away from that situation, Leo, and then what ends up happening is I think that, you know, like I said, this could also talk about that you're wanting, the connection you are wanting is basically really important to you, and you're willing to basically go through the ringer to get it, right? And perhaps this is also talking about a connection, and I don't know if it's the same person that came in here. Perhaps you're wanting to defend this connection, because it can talk about long-term commitments, almost going to marriage, right? Ten of Cups is a nice card to get, but it is being clarified by the Seven of Wands. So I almost wonder if this is, like I said, if it's an ex, I wouldn't think this is a new person. It's got to be somebody that's like you've had some history with here for this to apply. But I almost wonder if this person comes back in the picture. Like you're trying, I don't know if you're chasing after this person or you're just trying to make it work with this person, and that's why that applies. Okay? And once again, what's interesting is that we just had the Seven of Wands here, keep in mind, right? The advice for the next situation is Seven of Wands again, and it's going to the Five of Cups. This is almost talking about, guard your emotions a little bit, be protective, stand up for what makes you not happy, okay? And this kind of also says in your outcome that you're wanting a commitment, and it seems like you're voicing that I want a commitment, I want a long-term commitment, and you have the Ten of Cups right here. Ten of Cups, a card that can also talk about that. Hierophant can talk about marriage, marriage proposals, well, not marriage for sake proposals, but it does talk about commitments, and it also talks about values, almost, you want to uphold your values to some extent. So I kind of like that for the outcome, but here's where things kind of go sour again. And once again, Leo, just bear with me. Like I said, choice is very important in life. So I mean, a lot of this could change and be different for everyone, but this is what came through. This is like honestly a roller coaster read. Your next situation, this is going to be towards the very end of March. We have Eight of Cups again. So you had Eight of Cups three times in your reading. 3 times. Going to the Ace of Cups. Bummer. This does look like something that was probably offered to you. And remember, this was in your outcome for the first scenario in the beginning of March. Walking away. And you're never gonna believe the last. This is the cherry on top here. Your outcome for this was the Tower. So you had a Tower there, and you had a Tower at the last thing. What is it going to? Seven of Swords, a card of betrayal. This, unfortunately, I mean, that really sucks. This is clear as day as far as I'm concerned. This has to be something related to whoever this person that keeps coming back in your life here, Leo. I almost suspect that this person probably offered you their cup again. And just like last time, they let you down again, essentially. And then it's like you're having to walk away from it again. This is and then, look at this card here. This was just before, giving warning about it. Prepare to guard your emotions. Be careful. Don't let people play with your heart. And then this is where it really becomes mind-blowing. Wheel of Fortune was the advice, meaning that a new cycle is beginning. So, I thought that was just perfect for that being the advice at the very end of your reading there for the last situation, because this kind of indicates to me, Leo, I guess in summary what I'm trying to say here is that, it's overall pretty hard for me to kind of apply a full career in finance interpretation through all this, which is why I couldn't really talk about it throughout, because Cancer's reading was very prominent with that and made a lot of sense. And this particular reading is undeniably is something to do with some person that you have a connection with. It doesn't have to be, for a lot of you that are single, dealing with the ex. It maybe could just be a close friend of some sort that you keep having issues with, or some family. I mean, that's kind of stretching it. It's got to be a love situation here of some sort going on. But Wheel of Fortune does talk about that it was meant to be. It's almost like it's fate. Okay? It can also talk about things that you manifested, and a lot of you might be asking, well, what the fuck, I didn't ask for any of this shit. But that's not necessarily always true, because the thing is that when you ask for stuff, the universe wants to prepare you for something. But the problem is that if you have certain things about you that you know are, well, you may not necessarily know, but the universe does, is that, we all have things about us that can be, not for say flaws, but weaknesses, okay, vulnerabilities. And sometimes the universe will put you in these situations with certain people that will strengthen those vulnerabilities because they get exposed. The things where people can take advantage of you. People that basically screw you over or something like that. It's a painful thing that happens, but pain's a powerful motivator. You kind of learned that, that kind of quality of person is not someone that I want to have in my life again. Okay? No one should ever stand up and tolerate bad behavior, and I think this is kind of what the universe is trying to get across here, especially if you have an ex that keeps coming back in and causing problems. And I hate talking only about the ex situations, but I mean, this is pretty much, I mean, something like that. I do, on the very last note though, is that even if this, in summary, if this does have anything to do with business and finance, I definitely get an overall sense that it is a transition away from something that's familiar. It's the best way I can put this, but it is starting something new and going on a journey to basically fulfill that. But there, once again, a lot of obstacles, and I have no doubt the universe is kind of doing that to kind of test your fortitude, to see what you're really made of, and if you can deal with it. And once again, you might have some people that want to throw you on the bus, you might have some people that want to cripple your progress, or just kind of, lead you in the wrong direction. But always just make sure to remember that the universe does have a plan for you, and there's always choice involved, okay? So you can always choose what happens. So anyways, Leo, that's what I got for you. Take it or leave it, obviously. Don't have to make anything really apply in life if you don't want to, but I hope you enjoyed this message. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's pretty late here, so I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you in the next one, though. Thanks for watching.